Yes, hello and welcome to the BFNL Football Show for another week. Proudly supported by McDonald's Ballarat and Ballarat Toyota. Nutty, welcome aboard once again, mate. Another big show ahead.
Braids. Can't wait to get stuck into it. Let's do this.
Yeah, for sure, mate. We'll have a look at last weekend's footy action. A big weekend of footy. The first game we'll look at was Sunbury v Melton. Sunbury 24-16, 160, defeated Melton 11-7, 73. Ballarat 14-13, 97, defeated Backer Smash 9-6, 60. Lake Wendouree, second win in a row for them, so they'll be certainly very pleased with this result. Lakers 14-20, 104, defeated Sebas 6-8, 44. East Point 15-23, 113, got home in a very close one against Melton South 16-14, 110. And North City played Redan on Sunday. Redan 11-9, 75, defeated North City 7-16, 58. So Nutty, big weekend of action. North City's form out of the weekend must be pretty concerning for those at the club. They've lost the last three now.
Dropped three in a row.
Danger signs, I would have thought.
Absolutely. And they've got Sunbury this weekend, and I think games against Darley and Backer Smash to follow up after that. So I can't see them beating Sunbury this weekend on current form. They're not kicking straight in front of goal. They're not taking their opportunities. And look, Sunbury haven't put a foot wrong so far. So it's a huge game this weekend for them. They need to get back on the winners list so they can kiss their top three finish goodbye.
Oh, for sure. And look, we know how important it is to finish inside the top three. Look, they were one of the premiership contenders before the start of the season, and for the predicament they're in at the moment, they'd be very disappointed with that.
I thought they'd be sitting top two this time of the year.
Lake Wendouree, Nutty, back in town, 2 wins in a row. Look, I watched the game on the weekend and I was impressed. I thought that they found a key forward in Clifton. He showed a good presence up there, and I think something that I suppose they've lacked this year. Obviously, losing McMahon last year, they've struggled to kick goals. But if they can be a target for the rest of the year, he can give them a focal point, and they might win a few more games. You never know; they could even scrape into the final six.
Early days, if you look at the teams that have beaten Melton and Sebastopol, who are struggling as well. But they're starting to get their game going. They're starting to get obviously more shots on the board as well. I think they had 34 scoring shots on the weekend, which is a great result. So.
Yeah, I think those losses they had earlier in the season, they were never blown out of the water.
No,
they weren't big losses. Yeah, exactly. So. Webby, we're certainly very pleased with their form of late. What else we're talking about? Premiership favourites, Nutty. Sebastian and Redan, both undefeated. Sunbury and Redan. Sunbury have just showed that they're a class act, and still a few players to come back in as well. So
compare their victories though. I think Redan's probably played and beaten more of the better sides in the competition compared to Sunbury.
They only play who they're drawing against, mate.
Well, that's true. But I think Redan probably they deserve the premiership favourites tag at this point in the season.
Yep.
That'll all change obviously when they come up against.
And Sunbury wouldn't mind that, I don't think.
I don't think they would.
They've had the premiership tag over the last few years, and it hasn't done them any good. So
I think Redan rightfully should be premiership favourites at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Junior Interleague, moving on to junior side of things now. Junior Interleague next week. Down at Stratfield Sage. Great set of youth girls involved in this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Bendigo, we got in contact with Bendigo to see if they might be interested in putting a youth girls side in this year. They jumped at the opportunity. Unfortunately, Geelong are not as accommodating. They don't want to place in the youth girls. They must be scared after we beat them in the V-Line Cup a couple of months ago. But look, great news for the girls. Great news for our youth girls competition. We're going to have interleague representation in the second year of the competition, so really looking forward to that next weekend.
Very good. Now, just touching on the senior netball from last weekend, the results: Ballarat played Backer Smash. Backer Smash 56 defeated Ballarat 44. Lake Wendouree 89 defeated Sebastopol 18. So a really good win there for Lake Wendouree. East Point 56 defeated Melton South 34. Melton 48 defeated Sunbury 15, and Redan 52 defeated North City 20. So. Well, no, this early stage in the year looks to be Lake Wendouree probably the side to beat. They just they obviously lost last year's premiership, but they lost a few key players as well. But I think that the depth that Lake Wendouree have had over previous years, their reserve and B grade sides have been very good, and we've seen some of those players push up and play senior netball, and Southern Queensland's done a great job. Yeah,
look, they've won 4 out of the last 5 flags, and rightfully so, they've restored their premiership favourite tag, and they're in that scintillating form that saw them win those 4 premierships. So they certainly deserve to be at the top.
For sure. Yeah, Nutty, the wingman, off-field champion award for 2012. We had a bit of a media conference before with Michael Roberts and also Danny Frawley. this involves 16 major leagues around the state. Tell us a bit more about this award and how it can be won.
Yeah, the Wingman Award is about someone in your local footy clubs who does something
off field.
Yeah, off field that could be considered in the leadership category.
Yep.
So obviously 16 major leagues taking part in it, and the winner from each major league gets $250 and a certificate, and then there'll be an overall winner selected from that who will win $1,000 at an AFL Coaches Association Awards night.
Yep.
So yeah, look, it's a great initiative, and yeah, we're looking for nominations from the BFL clubs to put in a nomination for the Wingman Award.
For sure, just to show off-field leadership, it might be that you stop someone from driving home when they shouldn't be driving home on a Saturday night, or something like that. So
or you don't put bikes off while you're trying to do the footy show.
Exactly.
That could be a good way of showing a bit of leadership.
That's exactly right. We just lost where we are now, boys.
Onto the Spirit of Football Netball Award winners.
Yeah, this has been a great initiative by the league, Nutty, and I think all clubs have bought in pretty well. And I think the winners so far have really enjoyed receiving their awards. Yeah. So tell us about the winners from last weekend. And
Jeff Whittaker's doing a sensational job coordinating this
also
program.
Des Hudson as well.
And Des Hudson, yeah, right. They've been fantastic. They're obviously involved with the Blue Ribbon Foundation too. The guys are local police officers in the region.
Last week's award winners in football, Angus Wright from East Ballarat, and netball
Jai Cartledge from Mount Clear. So very worthy winners.
Jay, I think Jay Cartledge.
Jay, is it?
Jay.
Okay,
no worries. Next week.
Yeah, no problem.
So one of those two people.
Yeah, they won the award.
Very good. Now, McDonald's Martin Goal of the Year, Nutty, had some minor nominations so far. We'd love to see a hanger taken or just
Certainly.
a great goal kicked as well, wouldn't we?
We've been inundated with goals of the year, but no hangers or no marks so far. So we need as many nominations as we possibly can, so that it's probably the best part of the Henderson Medal on the night. Everyone gets involved. They love the hangers. They love the goals from the boundary line. So if you've got any nominations you want to send in, email them through to aaron@ballaratfl.com.au.
Very good. And this week's games, Nutty, big weekend of footy actually coming up again. Queen's birthday weekend. First game we'll look at is Ballarat v Melton South at Alfred and Oval. You guys have been in great form. All the talk is always about Sunbury and Redan, but you guys are just sort of, I was supposed to say you guys, Ballarat have been sneaking out of the guard a fair bit, and they'd be certainly pleased with that sort of attention.
Nothing wrong with that, mate. Ballarat sitting in third at the moment. They're in a very comfortable position, and look, they're certainly not underestimating the game this weekend against Melton South. Matty Sutton's in great form. They're going to have to stop him if they're going to beat him.
Now I see an A Nunn kicked 4 goals in the reserves last week. Is it an Angus Nunn that plays for Andrew Nunn or someone?
Might have been a typo, maybe.
Typo, yeah.
Sure.
You're back. I reckon you're back, mate.
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll move on to the next game. East Point versus Sebastopol. Huge one at the Eastern Oval on Saturday.
I wouldn't say a huge one. I think it'll be a really good win to East Point here. East Point's form, along with Ballarat's, has been very good as well.
They have been super.
Full credit to Dan Jordan and his coaching staff. They've got a pretty young side, and I think they'll win this game quite easily.
8 goals on the weekend. He's in super form. Can't say Malcolm Niblett's one of the best backmen in the competition. He's going to have his hands full on DJ this weekend.
For sure. Melton v Redan at McPherson Park. A really big test here for Melton. Can they match it with one of the better sides in the competition in Redan? Redan's form's been fantastic so far this year, so I think they'll have the work cut out to win at home on the weekend.
A bit stiff to get the top 2 sides 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I think Redan will win this one comfortably.
North City v Sunbury. Now this game's at Eureka Stadium. Probably a game for North City to probably stand up here, Nutty. They've been pretty ordinary the last 3 or 4 games they've played, and if they want to be a genuine contender this year, these are the games they've got to win. To lose 4 games in a row certainly will show that they're not a premiership contender for mine. So I think this is a game at home they really should win.
Match of the round, this one. If they don't win this, you're right. They're going to lose that opportunity to finish in the top 3.
Exactly.
And then they have to take the long way through to the grand final if they're going to make it that far. So
and these are the games they've got to win.
They do. Look, if they're going to be genuine premiership contenders, they have to beat the sides above them on the ladder. So they need to win this one. But I can't see it happening. I think Sunbury
will be too good as well. And Darley v Lake Wendouree at Darley Park. Lakers have been, they've certainly been good the last few weeks. And Webby, playing a lot of young kids. And I think the future looks really good at Lake Wendouree. And I think they can go down to Darley Park and get the job done against Darley on the weekend.
This will be a close one, but I think Darley just closely.
Yep. Nutty, thanks so much for joining us again on the BFL Footy Show. Another really good weekend's wrap, and look forward to the starting up the games next weekend. A big weekend of action coming up.
Yeah, absolutely, and don't forget the BFL Live Scores app. Download that off the BFL website.
Click on the iPhone.
The iPhone.
Very good. Thanks very much for joining us on the BFL Footy Show once again. Proudly supported by McDonald's Ballarat and Ballarat Toyota. Have a good long weekend and all the very best. See you next week. Thanks very much, mate. Good yourself.